Welcome to WikiPodcast, where we take a deep dive into incredible lives and uncover the essential nuggets of knowledge. Today, you're joining us for a special installment of our History Makers series. We're focusing on visionary artists and creatives, and we're about to explore the profound impact of a woman whose words, well, they truly moved the world, the one and only Maya Angelou. Her story isn't just a remarkable biography, it's really a journey through extraordinary perseverance, artistic innovation, and frankly, monumental cultural influence. Think about it. 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several poetry collections. And she contributed to plays, movies, television for over 50 years, received dozens of awards, more than 50 honorary degrees. It's just, wow.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's truly illuminating about Maya Angelou, I think, is how her deeply personal journey became so inextricably woven into the fabric of American society and global consciousness, really, from her earliest, most challenging years to becoming this respected spokesperson for Black people and women worldwide. Her works are now cornerstones in education. So this deep dive, it'll go beyond just what she achieved. We want to explore how her unique experiences forged that powerful, resonant voice, culminating in these huge historic moments like being the first poet to recite at a U.S. presidential inauguration since Robert Frost. That's significant.
Absolutely. So let's unpack this incredible beginning then. Born Marguerite Annie Johnson, April 4th, 1928, St. Louis, Missouri. Can you even imagine being just 3 years old when your parents' calamitous marriage, as it was called, ends, and you're sent by train with your older brother, Bailey Jr., to live with your paternal grandmother, Annie Henderson, in Stamps, Arkansas. And it was Bailey Jr. who gave her that enduring nickname, Maya. That's a profoundly destabilizing start for any child.
It truly is a huge upheaval. And the trauma, unfortunately, it deepened significantly. At age 8, after moving back with her mother in St. Louis, Maya was sexually abused, raped, actually, by her mother's boyfriend. She confided in her brother, Bailey Jr., and the man was found guilty but only jailed for a single day. And then he was murdered shortly after release, probably by her uncles, it's believed. And Maya, she believed her voice, her speaking out, had been the catalyst for his death, so she became mute for almost 5 years.
That's just heartbreaking. 5 years of silence, believing your words caused death. So what do you think were the lasting imprints of that period on her creative spirit? I mean, how did that profound silence lay the groundwork for her later ability to wield words so powerfully?
Well, it's fascinating because that intense period of silence wasn't just isolation, right? It became a kind of crucible for her future artistry. It seems to have honed her inner world, really sharpened her observation skills. She developed an extraordinary memory, cultivated this deep, deep love for books and literature. She listened. She absorbed everything, internalized the rhythms, the nuances of language around her, which later, translated into the poetic precision and that raw emotional depth you find in her writing. It's almost as if her voice, when it finally returned, was richer, more potent, precisely because of that long period of gestation.
That makes so much sense. It wasn't just lost time, and it wasn't like a switch flipped and she started talking again, right? There was a key figure involved.
Absolutely not. It took intervention. A teacher and family friend, Mrs. Bertha Flowers, she stepped in, and she challenged Maya, apparently saying something quite provocative like, "You do not love poetry, not until you speak it." So Flowers became her guide, introduced her to this vast world of literary giants, Dickens, Shakespeare, Poe, but also, crucially, influential Black female artists. Georgia Curdy, Douglas Johnson, Frances Harper, Jessie Fawcett, Anne Spencer, James Weldon Johnson. That mentorship was just vital, not just in helping her find her voice again, but really in shaping her entire literary foundation.
So this silence, followed by this profound literary awakening, it truly shaped her. Then her life takes another pretty dramatic turn.
Indeed. When she was 14, she and Bailey moved to Oakland, California with her mother. At 16 comes this remarkable historical footnote. She becomes the first Black female streetcar conductor in San Francisco. She called it her dream job. It just speaks volumes about her fierce independence, her trailblazing spirit, even then. Exactly. And then, just 3 weeks after finishing school, at 17, she gave birth to her son, Guy Johnson. Imagine that transition, trailblazing professional 1 minute, young single mother the next, all while still technically a teenager.
It paints this picture of a woman constantly reinventing herself, facing life head-on no matter what. And that dynamic spirit, it absolutely continued into her 20s, didn't it?
Oh, it absolutely did. In 1951, she married Tosh Angelos, a Greek electrician, which you have to remember defied significant social norms against interracial relationships back then.
A bold move for the time.
Very. And she immersed herself in modern dance, formed a team called Al and Rita. But it was performing calypso music, spectacularly at the Purple Onion nightclub in San Francisco. That's where she really embraced her performing identity, adopting her professional name, Maya Angelou. She wanted a distinctive name, something to capture her powerful stage presence.
That constant evolution is just remarkable. From dancer to singer, then on to an international stage.
Her versatility seemed to know no bounds. She toured Europe with the production of Porgy and Bess, picked up multiple languages along the way. In 1957, she even recorded her first album, Miss Calypso.
Miss Calypso, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But by 1959, she was urged by the novelist John Oliver Killens to move to New York. The focus shifted. Writing. She joined the Harlem Writers Guild, placing herself right at the heart of this vibrant intellectual movement, fostering a new generation of Black literary talent.
And it was there in New York, wasn't it, that her commitment to civil rights really became powerful. It intertwined with her burgeoning artistic voice.
Precisely. After meeting Martin Luther King Jr., she helped organize the Cabaret for Freedom. It was a benefit for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SCLC, Dr. King's organization.
Right.
And she was named their Northern Coordinator, so she was deeply involved in the movement. Her activism wasn't just U.S.-focused either. She was openly pro-Castro. Apparently cheered Fidel Castro when he first entered the Hotel Teresa in Harlem. And she was vehemently anti-apartheid, a real global commitment to freedom struggles.
Wow. And then her life took this extraordinary turn across continents. It deepened her connection to global political movements even further.
Yeah, absolutely. In 1961, she performed in Jean Genet's play, The Blacks. The cast included incredible talents like James Earl Jones, Lou Gossett Jr., Cicely Tyson.
What a lineup.
Right. Shortly after, she moved to Cairo with the South African freedom fighter Vusumuzi Make. She worked there as an associate editor at the Arab Observer. When that relationship ended in '62, she and her son Guy moved to Accra, Ghana. The plan was for him to attend college there. But then Guy was in a serious car accident, which actually kept her in Accra until '65 while he recovered. And during that time, she became an administrator at the University of Ghana. She was a feature editor for the African Review, a freelance writer for the Ghanaian Times, worked for Radio Ghana, Ghana's national theater. She became this really vital part of the African-American expatriate community there.
So her journey in Ghana put her right at the epicenter of history yet again.
Absolutely. While in Accra, she became close friends with Malcolm X, who was also spending time there. She returned to the U.S. in 1965, intending to help him build his new organization of Afro-American Unity, only to be just devastated by his assassination shortly after her arrival.
Such loss. And then another terrible blow.
Yes, a truly macabre twist of fate, as one biographer called it. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on her 40th birthday, April 4th, 1968.
Unbelievable. Despite such immense, almost unimaginable pain and loss, this period somehow became a pivotal moment for her creative genius. It feels like a defiant response to all that tragedy. How does she manage to channel that grief into something so groundbreaking?
You're right, it does feel like a channeling, a profound one. She fell into a deep depression, understandably, but she was encouraged out of it by her close friend, the writer James Baldwin. He pushed her to work. So she wrote, produced, and narrated Blacks, Blues, Black, a 10-part documentary series for national educational television, exploring the connection between blues music and Black Americans' African heritage. And then her editor, Robert Loomis at Random House, he challenged her. He famously bet her she couldn't write an autobiography that was also art. And that challenge led her to write her first and arguably most famous autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, published in 1969.
Caged Bird, it wasn't just big, it was groundbreaking, wasn't it? Not just for her, but for literature as a whole.
Oh, it was revolutionary, absolutely. It brought her international recognition, yes. But more importantly, it broke new ground by openly, honestly discussing personal trauma, her childhood rape, her muteness. Especially for Black women writers, it became this seminal text, a bold defense of Black culture, a raw exploration of resilience. It essentially threw open the doors for so many other voices to share their own truths without apology.
And her career after Caged Bird was just phenomenal. She truly transcended traditional artistic boundaries. She wasn't just a writer.
She absolutely did. She wrote the screenplay for Georgia, 1972. That was the first screenplay ever produced by a Black woman.
First ever.
First ever. Later, she directed the film Down in the Delta in 1996, making her one of the first African-American women to direct a major motion picture. Beyond film, she was a composer, wrote for artists like Roberta Flack. She even received a Tony Award nomination for her acting back in 1973 for a play called Look Away. She didn't just dabble. She excelled. She mastered every medium she touched, it seemed.
And she wasn't just confined to the arts world either. Her move into academia, especially considering she didn't have a traditional degree, that really solidified her role as a kind of universal teacher, didn't it?
That's a perfect way to put it. A universal teacher. In 1981, despite not having a bachelor's degree herself, she accepted the lifetime Reynolds Professorship of American Studies at Wake Forest University in North Carolina. And this wasn't just some ceremonial role. She actively taught courses in philosophy, ethics, theology, science, theater, writing. She considered herself a teacher who writes. That's how she saw it. Her passion for learning and sharing knowledge was just boundless. And she continued appearing on the lecture circuit, captivating audiences well into her 80s, inspiring countless people without ever needing a textbook.
Yeah. For many of us, I think her defining moment on the world stage came in 1993. Reciting her poem On the Pulse of Morning at Bill Clinton's first presidential inauguration. It was
Yeah.
just electric.
It was more than electric. It felt like a unifying moment for the whole country. And like you said earlier, she was the first poet to recite at an inauguration since Robert Frost in 1961. Huge gap.
Yeah.
This performance brought her even more fame, incredible recognition. It truly broadened her appeal across all kinds of boundaries, racial, economic, and educational, as commentators noted. And the recording of that poem, it actually won a Grammy Award, which speaks to its power and its reach.
Her influence just seemed to keep growing, even branching into unexpected collaborations later on.
Her reach was just incredible. She collaborated with R&B artists like Ashford and Simpson on their albums. She created a successful collection of greeting cards, home decor items for Hallmark. And when some critics accused her of commercialism, she famously responded that it was perfectly in keeping with her role as the people's poet.
Good answer.
Right, making her messages accessible to everyone, everywhere. And the recognition kept pouring in. Over 50 honorary degrees, the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama in 2011. And just recently, in 2022, she became the first Black woman ever depicted on a U.S. quarter. An amazing tribute.
She had such a unique, almost monastic writing ritual too, didn't she? Waking super early, checking into a sparse hotel room, staff removing pictures from the walls, writing on legal pads with only Sherry, a deck of cards for solitaire, Roget's Thesaurus, and the Bible nearby. What does that ritual tell us about her dedication, her craft, and that unflinching commitment she had to telling the truth?
That ritual, it's like a window into her profound dedication, isn't it? It speaks to her need for absolute focus, creating this kind of sacred space where she could enchant herself, as she put it, and relive the agony. For her, relief wasn't found in some easy catharsis, but in the rigorous, disciplined act of telling the truth, no matter how painful. And that dedication to unflinching honesty, it just permeates all of her work, which, yeah, has been challenged by some parents for its explicit content dealing with racism and sexuality. Yet it remains a cornerstone in education for teaching about race, about resilience, about identity, child development. Her writing wasn't just storytelling, it was grappling with fundamental human experiences.
Maya Angelou passed away on May 28, 2014. She was 86, and apparently still working on another book. Her son, Guy Johnson, noted she wrote 4 books in her last decade alone, despite being in constant pain. Just incredible perseverance. What an incredible legacy she left behind.
An absolute immense legacy. Tributes poured in from world leaders, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, countless others affirming her iconic status. Her works are hailed as a defense of Black culture, an inspiration for Black feminist writings, and they continue to influence new generations of artists. You see her influence strongly in the hip-hop community, for instance. As the writer Gary Young so aptly put it, her life literally was her work, a living testament to the power of voice, of resilience, and ultimately, of truth.
Maya Angelou's journey, really, from that profound childhood silence to a voice that resonated globally, it's such a powerful testament to the transformative power of truth and resilience. Her ability to translate deep personal pain into universal insight, it just continues to inspire courage and change in the world around us. It's quite remarkable.
What her life exemplifies so powerfully, I think, is that words born from genuine, lived experience and shared with real conviction, they can truly move the world. They can challenge us all to grow beyond the idiocies of racism and sexism, as she urged. It's a profound reminder, really, that every single voice, when it's nurtured and when it's courageously expressed, has the potential to leave an absolutely indelible mark.
We really hope this deep dive into the life and legacy of Maya Angelou has given you a fresh perspective on her incredible impact. Thanks for listening. Write us your opinion in the comments on how one person's unwavering commitment to their truth can echo through generations and inspire others to find their own voice. Subscribe to the channel to help more listeners reach our episodes. Thank you and have an amazing day.